why is it going to get worse? You talked about political uncertainty. We haven't even mentioned Pete Hegseth's address to NATO, which is again very substantial. And in the last couple of days, we've seen the end of the premiership or the prime minister for the UK, who stood down as a result of a number of different effects. Also, who the country was not supporting the US at certain times in the recent conflict. All right, so you thinking this is going to get worse rather than better in the short term, are you?
Yeah, because we're caught between the paradigms of what most people, I would say, under the age of 60 but over the age of 30 have gotten to know. So if you're between the ages of 30 and 60, you've kind of just known a world of like the United States being sort of a benign hegemon, and most countries collaborating, cooperating, dealing with shared problems, working across the aisle with adversaries like Iran, China, and Russia, and North Korea to try and like solve problems. Again, you don't really get to full agreements, but at least you recognize a problem. You see a shared issue for like the planet or a region, and you at least take some steps to say, let's mitigate this. Let's try to find a way to resolve this in a way that doesn't lead to war. And all those mechanisms have effectively have died. You might as well call the United Nations the UN. You might as well call it like the dead UN, like the dud. But like the UN is done. It's a dud. It's over. Other things like the Arctic Security Council as well was again highly cooperative even after 2014, and with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, that thing is done as well. You're just seeing the breakdown of all of these institutions that we took for granted post World War II, but also post Cold War. IMF, World Bank, everything's just going out the window because there are countries that no longer want to lead in the world, and there are countries that were willing to play by the rules that are just throwing the rules out the window as well. And it's sort of this global chaos, and whoever has the most power and influence is going to do what's best for themselves now. And that is a paradigm shift that for those of us over 30 it's uncomfortable with, because we all tried to think that we could avoid a bigger war, a bigger conflict, if we just figured out a way of saying, hey, economically you benefit if we do this, and economically we benefit. There's no reason to waste time on invasions and wars. And that whole system is basically broken down, partly because it's the other revenge of populism and nationalism. This idea that we all thought that, again, international cooperation, people would forget their ethnic identities, like their nationalism. We figured people were past that, and it turns out that at our core, we're still sort of dumb cavemen in that sense, and cavewomen, of course, as well.